My guest this hour is William Bulhman, and William is one of America's leading experts on astral travel and out-of-body experiences. The author's 30-plus years of extensive personal out-of-body explorations gives him a unique and thought-provoking insight into this subject. His first book, Adventures Beyond the Body, chronicles his personal journey of self-discovery through the out-of-body travel and provides the reader with the preparation and techniques that can be used for their own adventure. During the last 6 years, he has conducted an international out-of-body experience survey that includes over 16,000 participants from over 32 countries. The provocative results of this survey are presented in his new book, The Secret of the Soul. This cutting-edge book explores the unique opportunities for personal growth and profound spiritual awakenings that are experienced during out-of-body travel. Over the past 2 decades, William has developed a proven, effective system to experience safe, self-initiated out-of-body adventures. He conducts an in-depth 3-day workshop titled Out-of-Body Exploration, Stepping Beyond Time and Space. As a certified hypnotherapist, William incorporates various methods, including hypnosis, visualization, and meditation techniques in his workshops to explore the profound nature of out-of-body experiences and the benefits of accelerated personal development. And joining me now, returning from his travels far and wide, he's just returned from China, is William Bulhman. Hey, William, how are you?
Hello, Rob. How are you?
I'm doing great, William. Thanks very much for joining us. And tell me, what have you been up to? You last time I talked to you, you were just on your way back to China, and now you're back. And are you going to be staying stateside now, or is this just a small visit again?
No, I moved back. I was living in China for 4 years, and I just relocated back to the States.
My goodness. And tell me, while you were over in China, were you able to talk to the Chinese people about their experiences with out-of-body adventures, out-of-body experiences, as well as astral travel?
I sure did. I had an opportunity to do a workshop in Thailand, and I had a great opportunity in the last 4 years, actually, to travel all through Asia. So I talked to a lot of people, including monks in Cambodia and Thailand and in China, in Vietnam. It's been fascinating. This is a universal experience. That's why this is such an important topic to cover. Because you cover a lot of subjects in your show, and a lot of them are fascinating. But o.b.es affect everyone. Most people will not be abducted or maybe see a UFO, but everyone, whether they like it or not, is going to have an out-of-body experience.
Now, William, how can we differentiate between an out-of-body experience and a dream?
Well, out-of-body experiences are, the best analogy may be watching a ball game or being a participant in the ball game. When you have an out-of-body experience, you're actively participating. It's just as real as our conversation, our reality right now. Matter of fact, it's so real that many people have a confusion about it because they can't perceive. It's called a false awakening. You can't even tell which reality is truly real. For many people, it's just a startling reality to the entire experience.
Where did your deep interest in out-of-body experiences come from?
Well, when I was in college, a friend of mine had a spontaneous experience, and it blew him away. I mean, he was just totally changed by the experience, and it was someone that I respected, and I figured if it had this kind of impact on him, I wanted to learn more. So that's when I discovered. I was pretty young back then. This is when I was only 21, back in the early 70s. And I found that there was methods you could self-initiate an out-of-body experience. So I decided to explore it.
Now, does an out-of-body experience have anything to do with the same types of states that a person who is under hypnosis would be experiencing?
Only to a degree. I'm a certified hypnotherapist, and I use it in my workshops to help people to get relaxed and enter a meditative state. But no, that's where the connection ends. That's the first stages of relaxation, And other than that, it's a whole different kind of experience than what people have in hypnosis. Hypnosis is a very internal experience, and an out-of-body experience is quite different.
Why are out-of-body experiences important to us?
Well, mostly answers. I mean, let's just look at it objectively. We have 6 billion people, and we don't know where we come from. People don't know where they're going at death. The whole idea of death is this mystery. Mm-hmm. And we have the ability, through self-initiated out-of-body experience, to discover the answers for ourselves. It's exciting. It's powerful. In other words, no beliefs, strictly knowing. When you leave your body and you know that you have existed independently of it, all of the belief systems are no longer necessary. It's confirmation, and that's what makes this, I think, so important for all of us. Because I think people are searching for confirmation. They want to know instead of believe. And this just opens the door to many other topics about, where we're going, what's our purpose. These answers are available.
How does one know if they're having a real out-of-body experience, and how do you prove it to yourself that what you're experiencing is real?
So that's a good question. A lot of people have proven this to themselves in different ways. For instance, you can visit a friend. Mm-hmm. You can visit a loved one. By thinking of them, you will go. The universe is a very thought-responsive environment. And, of course, the physical world is just the epidermis, the dense epidermis layer. And when you're out of body, we go by the speed of thought. So it's easy for many people to think of, let's say, your mother or your father, and you will find yourself going to them. And that's one way to confirm it. And people confirm it in other ways too. I've actually had contact with. I had a pet at the time, a dog, and the dog actually followed me during an out-of-body experience. But you can actually report on events that has happened, and it's actually been reported throughout history.
Is an out-of-body experience in any relation to remote viewing?
There is a connection. A remote viewing is more of it's not as an active environment. In remote viewing, you're using your imagination. You're opening up to use your mind. It's like in the old days. I'm from the old school in the 70s when that was considered psychic viewing. Now that term is no longer used. But you're literally using your mind to perceive with remote viewing. During an o.b.e, you are what many people perceive as exteriorizing. You're leaving your body, and you're actually moving your consciousness to different locations. And the experience is quite different. And, of course, many people do it both. Once you open to one, the other may happen. But it's a fascinating connection between the two. That's actually, I have devoted quite a bit of writing to this topic in my book.
Would it be safe to say then, William, that when we go out of body, then we are truly going back to spirit?
Well, we're going closer to the universe is multidimensional, based on out-of-body experiences. And, of course, when we leave our body, we're moving inward into a finer, less dense, more thought-responsive environment or dimension.
Right.
So when we shift our consciousness to this other body, we're closer to what I would perceive as the spiritual realms. But it doesn't mean we've entered it. I think that's a large confusion out there. People perceive the astral body as a spirit body, and of course it is not. We possess multiple energy bodies.
All right, so, okay, we leave our physical body, then what is leaving? Is it our soul that leaves? Is it our spirit that leaves? What leaves the physical body?
The consciousness of the individual. Basically, an out-of-body experience, to clarify, is a separation of consciousness from the body. Now, keep in mind, there's actually no valid evidence that the consciousness actually lives in the body. It's directing the body. But soul is a much higher frequency. And, of course, does it exist in the body? This brings up a lot of interesting points. But the bottom line is we move beyond the physical limits of the body. And that's a natural state. OBEs are actually 10 to 20 times more common than near-death experiences. And they are actually common in all cultures. I have responses from over 50 nations in my survey. And this is one of the most universal experiences that are recorded throughout history.
All right, now, how does one prepare themselves to have an out-of-body experience? So, like, if I'm sure we have listeners who are sitting at home tonight or driving in their cars or wherever they are, saying, geez, this sounds like something that I'd like to do. Or how can they start? What is the preparation that is required to have an out-of-body experience?
Well, I write about over 100 techniques and methods, but let me share with you briefly one easy one.
Okay.
And that is to, before going to bed, read a little bit on the topic, clear your mind, and write intentions on a piece of paper. Clearly, I will have an out-of-body experience tonight, whatever you're comfortable with. But make it your intention to have an experience. Then, sleep, go to bed normally for 4 hours, set your alarm, wake up, and then go to your couch. Many people make a mistake of trying to do out-of-body experiences from their bed. It's the worst place to do it.
Why is that?
We're conditioned to sleep, and unfortunately in our society that's perceived as unconscious. We are not aware in our dream state, most people. So you move to another location. You break up the REM periods. After 4 hours, you've just experienced, you're moving into your third REM period or close to it. You move to the sofa, you lay down, you relax, and then you focus on your intention, your focus, your affirmations. Now I have an out-of-body experience. And you hold that affirmation as your last conscious thought as you drift back to sleep. And many people will have an o.b.e. at that point. This is one of the easiest methods you can use. Of course, there's many variations of this, but it's a combination of breaking the old pattern, moving to a new location, and having a clear, focused intention. And this combination of the three elements will help people to initiate their own o.b.e. And it's very easy to do.
If a person is starting to have an o.b.e. and they get scared, how can they return to a safe zone?
Well, any thought of your body, and you will automatically end the experience.
That simple.
It's that simple. There's no problems. I know there's a lot of negativity floating around about certain things that can happen. 35 years of out-of-body experiences, I've never had a problem. Never.
Have you heard of anyone who has had a problem?
I've heard stories, but I know for a fact that problems are self-created. Remember, when you leave your body, you've entered a thought-responsive environment, a thought-responsive dimension. Our thoughts will begin to mold the energy. This is what reality... All matter can be molded by thought, according to new physics. But as we go into the universe, as we leave our bodies and move inward, then the universe becomes more and more thought-responsive. If you're a fear-based person, let's say,
yes.
If you believe in hell and devils, I would say that you're probably going to have a difficult time during your out-of-body experience. Stand
by, William. You and I have to take a commercial break. We'll be back after the news. www.astralinfo.org. Are out-of-body experiences restricted to people of any ages, or do children have out-of-body experiences? Do seniors have out-of-body experiences, William?
Well, based on the results of my survey, it crosses all barriers, all nations, all ages. It's a universal experience, truly. One of the things that I was surprised to discover is that children...
Results of this survey are presented in his new book, The Secret of the Soul. This cutting-edge book explores the unique opportunities for personal growth and profound spiritual awakenings that are experienced during out-of-body travel. Over the past 2 decades, William has developed a proven, effective system to experience safe, self-initiated out-of-body adventure, accelerated personal development. And joining me now, returning from his travels far and wide, he's just returned from China, is William Bulhman. Hey, William, how are you?
Hello, Rob. How are you?
I'm doing great, William. Thanks very much for joining us. And tell me, what have you been up to? You last time I talked to you, you were just... He conducts an in-depth 3-day workshop titled Out-of-Body Exploration, Stepping Beyond Time and Space. As a certified hypnotherapist, William incorporates various methods, including hypnosis, visualization, and meditation techniques in his workshops to explore the profound nature of out-of-body experiences and the benefits of chronicles his personal journey of self-discovery through the out-of-body travel and provides the reader with the preparation and techniques that can be used for their own adventure. During the last 6 years, he has conducted an international out-of-body experience survey that includes over 16,000 participants from over 32 countries. The provocative... My guest this hour is William Bulhman, and William is one of America's leading experts on astral travel and out-of-body experiences. The author's 30-plus years of extensive personal out-of-body explorations gives him a unique and thought-provoking insight into this subject. His first book, Adventures Beyond the Body,